Hello, welcome to Birds on Power Lines, and today we are doing our second Musings episode because we have a number of things that have been going on, and usual, like the last time we did
we've been very busy.
been busy, and we've done a variety of things, and we kind of wanted to talk a little bit about them. Or little things that might not be a full podcast or whatever. So if you're interested in our last Musings episode, I will provide a link to that if you're interested. And one thing that's new in this podcast is that we are not together. So I'm where we're usually at when we're
if you can't see, go to our YouTube channel.
Yeah, so if you're listening on an audio platform, there's a video component to this podcast, and you'll notice that we are not together. We are actually using Zoom for the first time.
We're using Zoom, yeah.
And so it's a bit of an experiment.
It was a hassle. It was an experience.
A bit of a hassle to get this going, and this is our second day trying it, and we actually had a false start, so I now know I can pause the video. So if things
I have a very iffy Wi-Fi connection.
Yes, because where
I am is known for that.
Where I'm at home, and they are in their dorm.
I'm at university.
University. So we're trying it out. And
also, if you hear like loud slamming, that's people on my floor.
That is like their neighbors. They like to slam their doors. So
yes.
So that might happen. So we're trying this by Zoom. We're going to see how it works, and it might be a little disjointed in case their Wi-Fi drops. And I hit pause, and then I start again. So this is our second attempt because we lost the connection, and I wasn't quite sure what to do, so I kind of panicked. And anyways, we're back, and we're trying this again. And again, if you're listening on an audio platform, we will be talking about a few things that we're going to show on the screen. So you might want to check us out at YouTube. Our YouTube location is Birds on Power Lines Podcast. And the YouTube channel is Birds on Power Lines. But you'll probably find us easier doing Birds on Power Lines podcast. And so we'll describe what we're showing if you are listening on audio, which is perfectly fine. So I guess, so we talked a little bit about what we'd like to talk about in this podcast. And I think that since this is a fandom, mostly fandom themed podcast, with some smattering of travel stuff in between, and perhaps other things in future, but right now travel in between. We are both fans of fan art, and we've had some opportunity to pick up some fan art over the last little while, and we wanted to share some of that with you, and also promote those artists because we think you'd be interested. Because clearly, if you're listening to us, you probably like fan stuff, and you might really like this art as well. And we've got a lot of fan art around, but we're going to focus on these two artists today, and then talk about some other things. So you wanted me to introduce this first artist, right?
Yeah, sure.
So the first artist that we're going to talk about is the artist called Popfiction. And the artist's name is Danielturres. And we saw him at the Canadian National Exhibition in Toronto. And we were there the day before Labor Day, and the air show was on at that time. And we were wanting to talk a little bit about the Canadian National Exhibition before we get into the art. I mean, I recommend it if you're within driving distance of Toronto, you should try to go and check it out. I'm telling that to people who are in like the northern part of, I guess, New York State. You should go and check it out. It's very cool. It's huge. It's not like the state fair if you're feeling.
It's kind of like a very big state fair.
Yeah, well, like so we were just. It's more international. I'll put it that way in terms of what
the analogy I came up with is if it's like Deep Space Nine, but if it's not like a battle station.
Yeah,
and it's on the ground.
And it's probably because of the internationalness of Toronto. So anyways, lots of stuff to do there. Like for example, there's an ice show. And we saw
that was experience.
So if you're of my generation,
say that again. I think your audio might have cut out.
Oh, so Elvis Stoico. So he was a Canadian. Well, he is a Canadian figure skater who was at the Olympics. What, I think 3 4 times. Anyways, so and he's was world champion and all kinds of stuff. Anyways, he was in the ice show. So it's like when we're talking ice show, it was a really good ice show.
It was very nice. I
Really
enjoyed
nice.
it.
And then there's international foods. There's lots of art, and of course, there's a midway, huge midway. Lots of stuff to do. And I guess what we really like to do is go in the buildings, right?
Really like the buildings.
And that's where we met this artist. So again, pop fiction, and the artist is Danielturres, who is also a director of films. And I think they're kind of like horror slasher kind of films. He was talking to him about it because I don't know how we got onto this topic, but he has a few. I'm going to put a link for him. One of his films is called Fresh Meat. It gives you a flavor of what he's doing. But yeah, and he's a really good artist. And so we kind of want to promote him a little bit because we just recently saw him. So yeah, why don't you show your art first and then...
Sure, okay. So I got 3 things. 2 things that are a little bit smaller and 1 bigger one, and they're all on my dorm room wall. So I got some stuff from...
Don't forget to describe it. We're only listening on audio.
Oh, right, yeah, okay. So which one? So this one is basically a collage. I guess the collage, the right word, collage.
Yeah, I guess so.
4 of the main characters from the Matrix franchise. So we have Neo, Trinity, Morpheus, and Agent Smith.
Yes.
So yeah, so it's this. It's my favorite movie. I enjoy it a lot. So I saw that and I was like, I need to get that.
So what is your say on that? Cool. So the nice thing about what he does is he actually puts
he puts stuff on the back. So mine on the back says a game changer sci-fi action film, The Matrix. This movie was freaking coolest when I was younger, and I still wonder if we were living in the Matrix. ... Come to think of it, I noticed the same cat walking by my window every day at the same time. The background features Matrix comics.
Right.
Yeah. That's what mine says. Okay, and then the other smaller one I got was from Legend of Zelda. Well, there we go. And if you can't see in the background, I actually have my Legend of Zelda themed Switch, actually. So about a year ago, I really got into this. So
yes, the one
this is of course Link from Legend of Zelda. He's in like the more like OG, like original styling, format, clothing, all that stuff. So on the back of this one, it says Link is the main protagonist of the Legend of Zelda series, which first appeared in video games in the 80s. This everlasting hero has since evolved into a never-ending line of incarnations. The background features select pages from Nintendo Power magazine featuring the history of the Legend of Zelda. So,
yeah, it's really nice that he describes where he's getting the backgrounds from as well. But yeah,
it's really cool because like it's like the art on top of the like almost like those like old like newspaper-ish kind of
and it seems to be his
collage things.
But I mean, he's got like art, and then in the back he's got more art that is based on actual art that he might not have done. But it's very cool.
That is very cool. And then I don't want to pick favorites, but like this is the big one I got. From another one of my favorite movies, and my favorite Star Wars movie, actually. I think my favorite Star Wars character, K2SO from Rogue One.
Say that again, too.
K2SO from Rogue One. Yep. So there's this. It's a very big one, and it is very nice. And on the back, it says, "Congratulations, you are being rescued." That's one of his quotes from K2SO, one of his quotes. A brand new droid in the Star Wars universe, and it was fantastic. Alan Tudyk's performance as K2SO was funny and charming. It was great hearing a new opinionated robot. The comics featured in the background are from Marvel 2017 Rogue One #1, and special thanks to a fan for donating this particular comic.
Yeah,
so, there's this one.
Really great.
Yeah. I keep forgetting like which way the thing flips. It's like backwards.
Yeah, you took off your mirror, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
You did not, but oh yeah, you did.
I think so.
Because you're We'll talk about your t-shirt in a sec.
Did I take off my mirror? Did it
That's
work?
the right way around. Okay.
Okay,
We're
good.
still trying to navigate Zoom. Okay, so then I picked up. This is actually what drew us into the into Daniel's sort of stall in the arts and crafts building. Was this one?
I
It's
saw that. I saw that.
yeah,
Good for
you
you.
spotted it, and then that pulled me in, and I was like, oh. And funny thing is that I pulled this out, and then I started having a conversation with him, and I said, "Oh, I wonder if you probably make judgments on your clientele based upon what art of yours they pick
Mhm.
out." And then he says, "Well, what did you pick out?" And I showed him this, and he says, "Oh, you're okay." So it's Firefly, and on the back of this, it's
Main cast.
say again.
The main cast of Firefly.
Whole cast. It's like it's beautiful. Like it's everyone's on there. Okay, so
Mhm.
Firefly, everyone's there. So the whole crew is on the card, and across the top it says Firefly, and in the back is one of the comics, right? So it says Firefly, and the first thing it says, I get chills because I love Firefly so much. You can't take the sky from me. Right? So this is a show with an amazing theme song, an incredible cast, epic storytelling, and an awesome spaceship. Firefly was a short-lived show about cowboys in space, which won the heart of fans worldwide and quickly broke those same hearts with the abrupt end to the series, the repurposed background. Okay, and then it says it features 2017 Dark Horse Serenity, No Power in the Verse, #6 comic. All right, so that's where that's from. So Brown Coats Forever. All right, that's where that's coming from. Then the next one that I picked up was from I'm like old school Marvel. I grew up loving Spider-Man, and I pulled this one out. And this one says the Amazing Spider-Man dot 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 spins a web any size dot dot dot. The Amazing Spider-Man, my favorite superhero from my childhood, and I concur. The comic pages used for this are from my own collection of the Essential Spider-Man series from the 60s and 70s, which is the ones that I used to look at when I was young. This illustration is based off the MCU Spider-Man first introduced in Captain America Civil War. So that's what that is. So hopefully if you're listening on audio, this is encouraging you to visit our YouTube channel. You can see this amazing fan art. And then the last one, okay, I love this. And it's really weird because I haven't actually sat all the way through a Deadpool movie, but here
we did after the first. We watched the first one.
I have only seen bits and pieces.
Oh, maybe I did. Maybe it was me.
Let me describe it. And I desperately want to see Deadpool and Wolverine, which we haven't seen yet, but it features Deadpool. And it's hilarious because I like to paint. I like to watercolor paint. It's Deadpool Bob Ross. So it's Deadpool with with Bob Ross hair over his costume. And in the back it says Deadpool Bob Ross. Much like myself, Deadpool and Bob Ross love making happy mistakes. I like to imagine Deadpool painting beautiful landscapes sprinkled with chimichangas, unicorns, bullet holes, and red paint. Lots of red paint. And at least I think it's paint. The background features Deadpool by Daniel Way, the complete collection, Volume 1 paperback, August 13th, 2013.
Daniel Way. Just a bit of a side note. Daniel Way is the same. I think I'm associating Daniel Way with the Umbrella Academy comics.
Yeah, I don't know. We have to look that up.
I think I have to. I'll look that up later. But I think
about Daniel Way, put it in the comments because you're helping us out. All right, so please. But yeah, so I just love this. And also knowing that this guy likes to make horror films. So then when he talks about like lots of red paint, at least I think it's paint, he's also talking about himself as well because he does do that. So so that's our first artist. And again, we came across him at the Canadian National Exhibition, and I will put a link for that in the description. All right, so do you want to talk about where we saw the next artist that we want to talk about?
So we also went a little bit later, like last weekend, in conjunction with something else we'll talk about. We went to Kensington Market in Toronto, also in Toronto.
Also in Toronto. Obviously, we visit Toronto a lot, so
yes. So we went there, and we happened across another artist that sorry?
The artist is called Three on the Treetop.
Yes.
And I don't have her name. I'm going to have to look it up. She didn't tell us her name. She only goes by Three on the Treetop. But I will put a link. She's got an Etsy page, threeonthetreetop.etsy.com. And I will put a link for it. But anyways, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry, what was I saying? Yeah, we saw her in the Kensington Market, which is like just a big like open. If it's in summer, it's like an open air market that like spills out onto the street and from the buildings around and stuff. And there's a little like side path that has a whole bunch of little vendors selling like art and
if you go to Kensington Market, look for that little side alley because there's some
it's so we found her stuff in there, and she does like all sorts of really cool things. And she has a very like particular style of drawing that you'll see when we show the paintings. And she also like she was selling like a whole like series of like playing cards, but based off of like fairy tales and stuff. And it was really interesting. So you want me to show? Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So we both got some stuff. I got this Star Wars. It's entitled "The Dark Side." And
closer to the camera so people can see that. So you're listening on audio. So what do you describe it? I guess.
I guess from smallest to largest, there's and they're in like a sort of like a nesting doll type style.
That's the important part. They look something like they could be nesting dolls.
Like, she seems like it says from the fan art nesting doll series. So all of these fan art type of things are in this style. So there's Palpatine, the Royal Guard, Boba Fett, Stormtrooper, and a big Darth Vader, all on top of the like Death Star Imperial ship type flooring in space.
Yes,
and they're all like it's kind of like I think it's watercolor, right?
I don't know because usually
the background definitely is. The background is watercolor.
Yeah, it's I haven't quite decided.
I think it's mixed. Maybe it's mixed media. It's like watercolor and.
Because they're prints, so it's hard to tell. But and I think that's really important for people to help visualize it. That they do look like nesting dolls. So when you're talking about
like they're like little like short squat.
There's like short and sort of that roundish kind of shape to them, so they look like they could be like a traditional nesting doll. But what you're actually seeing is the Emperor Palpatine.
It's very funny.
Yeah. So
okay, show yours.
And you only have the one.
No, I just have the one. Yeah.
Well, go and show your. Let me show. Okay. All right.
Yeah, this is
okay.
it.
Okay. So I have. This is what actually brought my attention to the stall because one of the things I teach is physiology, and I have kind of physiology themed art in my office, and I saw this, and it's actually 6 hearts, and when I say hearts. They kind of look like hearts, but they're hearts, all right? Like
anatomical hearts.
Correct hearts. So, and this is the rainbow hearts. A 3 on the treetop print. And that's all it says. So it's literally, so it's not the nesting dolls, but it's like, but if you're looking at this on YouTube, you kind of see how it's similar in terms of.
It's kind of like pop art.
Yeah, it's kind of like pop art, and I kind of like that. I thought, I could put this in my office. I thought it was really cool. So that's what drew me in to her thing. And then we saw fandom art, So there was that, and then along with what they were just showing, I also got my Star Wars themed nesting doll thing. A New Hope Star Wars, a 3 on the treetop print. From the fan art nesting doll series, and my nesting dolls are different. In the background, you can see the Death Star and an X-wing, and the nesting dolls, going from smallest to largest, are R2-D2, Princess Leia, Luke, Han Solo, and Chewbacca. and there is a, what did we call him?
Deconstructed C3PO.
Deconstructed C3PO. And I actually didn't see the C3PO right away. I was like, oh my God, it's afterwards. 3PO is all in pieces, but yeah, he's floating underneath the platform. They're standing on one of those floating platforms. And there's this little guy poking out between Han Solo and Chewbacca, and I think it's like the little creature that was in the garbage bin.
Oh, yeah.
Garbage dump thing with the little eyeball. The green thing that, anyways, so that's what mine looks like. And yeah, very cool. And so I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna put a link to her page so that you can get an idea of what that looks like. And if you want some cool fan art, maybe you'd be interested in that.
Yes.
So is that it for our art that we were going to talk about?
Yeah, that's all I have.
Okay, I couldn't remember how many things we got you.
Yeah.
All right, so I had the 2 and you had the 1. All right, so that's what we were going to talk about in fan art. And now let them tell you about the reason we were in Toronto last weekend, which is harkening back to our last Musings episode. I don't even know if we mentioned what we're doing in Musings while we were recording.
Yes, we did. No, we said we'd have another one.
Okay, so in our last Musings episode, we were talking about some band that we were going to go see. So we went to see them. So go ahead.
So if you can't see from my T-shirt, we went to the Clancy World Tour.
If you don't know who the Clancy World Tour is,
sorry. Yeah, I forgot about that. And it's 21 Pilots, their current world tour right now. And so we went and saw that, and it was amazing. I've been looking forward to this for months. It was very good. I'm definitely not.
I will try and insert a bit of video if I can.
It was very good.
Out. We took lots of video, but yeah. So yeah,
I took like 20 gigabytes of video apparently.
Yes, you should have seen them backing it up the next day.
Yeah.
So talk about what your experience.
Okay, well, so primarily, honestly, so like I went into this and like I kind of knew what to expect because like I've just been in this fandom for such a while. As I was saying, like in the last Musings episode, I've been kicking around in there since the Trench era. But like so I kind of knew what to expect. But already, like I knew people in the fandom were saying this tour is one of the best that they've done, and there were a whole slew of reasons why, and I went and I experienced it for myself, and honestly I really think like my top like few reasons as to why it's just so phenomenal. First was just the creativity of the tour, like the one thing that happened was like, like a lot of like big concerts now have like the light effects and stuff, but these light effects, they like the overhead lights timed so that they pointed towards the crowd when the crowd was supposed to sing, and they pointed back towards the stage when the band was like continuing.
I didn't even notice that. Oh my God.
I noticed that.
I'll tell you, I was pretty impressed by this. Okay,
it was very good. Everything was so well timed. And like I have a lot of respect for all of the people who were like running, all the showrunners, all the crew that was doing it, because they were absolutely on point. They did not miss a single thing, and at
least not that we.
And also, like, so there's this, and the reason I'm kind of thinking about this is because I have to write a paper. I'm gonna write a paper about this from one of my classes. But anyway, so one of the sayings that 21 Pilots actually says, and they usually say this at the end of every concert: "We are 21 Pilots, and so are you." And I really felt like that was what happened, because it was like the audience in general was like the third member of the band. There are only 2 guys in this band. They really have to put on a good show. But the audience was just so invested, and everyone there was like, the energy was like, it was so like, it was amazing. The energy was amazing. Like there were people like in front of us in the merch line complimenting everyone on their outfits. It was amazing. I got like complimented on my outfit. It was great. And there's this tradition that we do.
Yeah, I have to try and like figure out
bracelets and things, and it's like a thing that like happens all the time, and it was really amazing. I loved like just the environment. Everyone was so like great, I guess.
What about the song list? Were you happy with the song list?
Yes, I was. I mean, of course, there's always not going to be every song that you want on there, but I mean, honestly, I mean, I don't really dislike any of their songs. I mean, I'm not like so crazy about the love songs, I guess, just because I'm not old enough to appreciate them yet. But I really thought it was like fantastic. It was phenomenal. I loved all the song lists, and there was this one interlude. Okay, slight spoilers ahead if you plan on seeing this anytime before next June. Though you might already know, but slight spoilers, so just like skip this little section if you want.
There's spoilers for a concert. No, spoilers for a concert.
Oh no, it's common courtesy. But there was a section in the middle when there was, you don't know this, but on stage, all those towers, that's Dima. The
and
like
she says you don't know this. She's referring to.
I mean you.
Yeah.
I mean like,
me personally,
not the audience.
Not you
like
as the audience.
Yes. So the city of Dima, it's literally on stage, and the pyrotechnics, like it was literally burning on the stage. The pyrotechnics were amazing, but there was an interlude where it was just like all the music dropped out, and it was like a really like unsettling like musical interlude where like just on the backing track where Tyler and Josh went through the audience, went all around like in the pit, and like with Josh holding the torch, being the torchbearer, Tyler like going doing that stuff, like running around Clancy and stuff. Oh, and I really loved the magic trick where he just appeared in the audience.
Yeah, that was like, wait a minute.
That was really great. I mean, I know how that happens. It was just double, but it was really great. But anyway, so going back to that interlude right before navigating, like on one of our recordings, we have someone saying, "Oh my God, what's happening?" And everyone felt like that. It was like the tension. Even though everyone knew what would be going next, like the energy when Tyler started playing the bass line for navigating, like, I mean, my favorite song, I love it. Well, one of my favorites. I love that bass line. But the energy when, like, he started playing that bass line, the crowd erupted, and it was, like, it was nuts. So crazy. And honestly, I was just... Like this synchronization of everything, like the lights during Mulberry Street, the like where held up the phone lights and stuff, like the ability for these two people to command an entire stadium of people to do things like in complete synchrony, and everyone understands what's going on. It was just like it was amazing. And also another thing I really like that I'm definitely gonna have to talk about in my paper. I loved the transitions between each of the songs just worked so well. Like completely different songs from completely different albums, they just morphed into each other, and it was great. It like really brought me back to they have a different like the live stream experience from a few years ago, the Scaled and Icy live stream experience, where they morphed together a whole bunch of songs from like their across like all the eras, and then mostly Scaled and Icy. It was like it brought back that, and I love listening to that album like all the way through, because it's just the morphing of the different songs into each other is just it's like really like excellent, I guess. But
yeah, it was.
Yeah, and then it was, and now it's really worth it, because every single time when I listen to certain songs, I'm like, I saw that live. I know what it sounds like to like literally like see like the band from like maybe 200 feet away, or I'm not good at judging distance, probably 500. I don't know. We were all the way in the back, but
yeah, we were in front, but in the back,
in the front back, in the yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah,
it was great.
It was for you. You're like, you've been listening to their music for years. I'm kind of a novice, but I tell you, for me, I really enjoyed it as well. Not just because you were just so, into it, but like I enjoyed it because it was so well done, right? And I do enjoy. I think in terms of 21 Pilots, the nice thing about that group, or about the two of them, I guess you call them a group, but they're just two of them, though. Yeah, exactly. Is that there's a variety of music. It doesn't all sound the same, which I really appreciate. So that really means that in terms of, how they do things, that they kind of like mix up genres. Like some things sound to me more like rap, and other things sound like reggae, and other things sound like ballads. So it's kind of interesting how they sort of mix all that together, and even for someone who I wouldn't say I enjoy them, I don't know if I guess I'm a fan, I guess, in a way, because
You don't have a choice.
but I'm not like you, right? Like I would not have known about it unless you had introduced me.
Unless I had to come downstairs one morning and be like, "Hey, can we go to this concert?"
And I'm like, what? Yes. So I mean, and I even enjoyed it. So it's not like it's not like I know some parents are going to, and I'm not trying to say anything against Taylor Swift. All right, I'm not saying that, but there's some parents that are going to Taylor Swift concerts because I know because I'm of that age. So the parents are going to Taylor Swift and they might not really be as much into her music as So this was not like that. I really enjoyed the music. It was awesome.
It's very accessible for even for people.
Yeah, it was great. I totally enjoyed taking part in this experience, and I enjoyed the music. I don't enjoy it as much as people who know all the words because that's really frustrating. I wish I knew all the words.
I think you were also saying that like you liked the fact that you could actually understand what they're singing.
Oh yes, that's the big thing. That's listening to a lot of the music right now. Half the time I don't even understand what they're saying. But with 21 Pilots, I can actually hear the words, which is really nice. And I really think Tyler, right? He's kind of like a poet in my mind. He is really.
He does. It's mostly like it's like a mixture of song and spoken word. But and then also something I wanted to say before I forgot.
Go ahead.
Josh the drummer.
Yeah, he did take his shirt off. But anyways, yeah.
Okay. Singing and like certain like of these songs like really they just really mean like a lot to me, and him and Tyler singing that like Paladin Straight and Bandito mix up, that was like my favorite part of the concert, and I knew that was going to happen because I knew the concert set list, I knew the things that were going to happen, but that still like I was just completely floored by that. It was amazing.
Yes, you like more often. You know about
you
that.
Should sing more. You should sing more often. I mean, like, no, I don't want to take Tyler's job away, but also Tyler does like a lot of things. He should let Josh sing. I mean, I know Josh doesn't always want to sing, but like,
they made a joke about Josh singing.
Yeah,
like I don't know what that was about, but anyways, it was kind of funny.
Yeah.
But they had this young girl come and sing. Too.
And at every concert on this tour, they have like one of the younger, like the next generation of fans. They bring one of like the younger kids from like the pit area or like the front few rows and let them sing. And I just think it's a really an amazing thing that they do that, because it's like you're like, cause now they've been doing this for like 15-ish years or so, and
I think it's a good idea. They're planning their fan base. Yeah. That was the other thing. There was people there of all ages. Like, and you could tell. I mean, it's one thing to go, right? But the fans when they got the red tape on them or the yellow tape.
And like I know, like, and this band in particular, like, just because they were like a bit more like, they're still quite popular, but they have, for some reason, they have some like reputation of like appealing to like teenagers and stuff. I mean,
it's not.
No, yes and no.
There's a lot of teenagers, but there's a lot of other people there.
There are a lot of people from all ages. Like I saw like little children. I saw like small children like completely decked out.
A little guy. He was completely decked out. He was awesome.
Yeah, it was amazing. Older
people, and there's like people from across like all kinds of spectrums. So there, LGBTQ plus people there, which was great. Everyone's welcome there. Like it was really a nice experience. Like I really felt it was a nice kind of group, right? Wouldn't you say so?
Yeah, it was very positive. Like everyone was like
positive.
Like I know it's a thing that I didn't personally see it, but I know it's a thing that like people bring like the tape rolls and share it with other people. It was really great.
When we came out, you shared like bracelets, right?
Oh, yeah, bracelets. Yeah, I mentioned that already. But that's like also a thing. I don't know if it's for every tour, but I know specifically for this one, like people are making like whole like armloads of bracelets and going out and like swapping bracelet exchange and stuff. It was really great, but.
Yeah, it was a really, and it was impressive. The light show and the pyrotechnics.
The pyrotechnics that was.
And at the end, all the
timing, like the precise timing of that. Like I don't know if they hooked like sensors up to Josh's drums or something, or it's just that well rehearsed, or like. The stage crew is just that good, but like the timing was like
singing. We could also see the controls, right? Like because
and we can see the controls from the back, and it was like really cool. It was really cool.
Yeah, it was a good concert, and yeah, I'm glad we went together. So it was.
Let's do it again in 4 years.
You think it? Well, it's going to depend, right, on what they do in the next little while. If they're going to do it
Yeah, that's true.
every 4 years, right
It
now.
might, since this is kind of like the end of like a thing, they might take a little longer, but I'll wait. I'll wait for them.
So you're wearing the tour shirt. We
Yeah,
each got
I'll wait
one.
for
You can let people see it if you want.
I already did. I already
You did?
got
Oh,
up,
okay.
but
All right.
yeah.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, and I want to get one of those stole things that he's holding out there, like that.
Yeah, they've been sold out for Etsy for
Those are
months.
cool, but you can't get them at a concert. I guess you have to. Oh, remember we saw somebody who had crocheted one? That was
Yeah,
neat. Oh
yeah.
my God. I was like, wow, look at that.
Yeah, the fandom is very creative. Like they're
I
very
was just
crafty.
really impressed. That was what really impressed me as well, because like to put those costumes together, it's not like and then
I looked so weird walking around campus, like walking through like my dorm my dorm area. I looked very weird, but
but the thing is, even the next day, like because we said we saw that art at Kensington Market. That was the next day, and we had been walking around the city, and actually the following 2 days. There was a literary festival as well that we went to, because
yeah, and we saw
fun
people
stuff.
with tour shirts. We saw
And we
people
saw,
with red tape on jackets.
red tape on jackets, and I go, I look at the guy. He's like, "Yeah, great concert, eh?" And he's like, "Yeah, it was a great concert." Like it was. So you can sort of identify people by their red or
Yeah.
tape, So yeah, so it was fun, and it was fun to walk around the city the next day as well, the next couple of days, and see people who were still on that concert high, I guess, and so there was that. So yeah, so it was a good experience. So we wanted to share that with you as well. And if you've seen Clancy, or if you've seen 21 Pilots in concert, or if you have any feelings on that, please comment and share what your
Yes.
experience was like. Because for us,
Yeah.
it was great. Coming from an Uber fan and someone who's a novice fan, I think that we both agree that it was a good time. So
Mhm.
we recommend that and if you're not familiar with 21 Pilots, what are you waiting for?
Yeah, yeah. Of course, not all music is for everyone, but they have a very
Yeah, well,
wide variety
it
of
might take
music,
you.
so you'll probably find something you like.
You probably will. It might take longer to understand the lore part. That's the part
Yeah,
that.
well, yeah, but that's the thing. For my experience, like I was like I liked them, and then I was like, oh, there's lore, because like I went in
Yeah,
right in
so
the
you
trench
don't
there, and I was like,
need
oh,
to
there's
know the
lore.
lore to
Yeah,
enjoy
you don't need to
music.
know the lore. Yeah,
Okay.
like because like like a lot of the messaging in the songs can be like the messaging is very like multi-layered, and like whether it's a lore song or not, even like the lore songs, even like the messaging in there is still like very multi-layered. Like surface level, it could just be surface level is just the lyrics. Then there's like the meaning within the story, and then there's like the meaning within like just the broader musical context of like what they're trying to say through the song. And like pretty much every single song is like that. Some things are a little bit more obvious than others. Other things are like very like some things like people still don't know. I mean, like there's this one song from one of their older albums they didn't play it at the concert, but kitchen sink, literally one of the lyrics in that is a kitchen sink to you is not a kitchen sink to me.
Yeah.
Like we still don't know what exactly that means. Like there's speculation, but
Maybe it
like
doesn't mean anything.
we don't know.
But yeah, it was a good time. So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah. Yeah. Do you have anything else you want to add to that, or
Um,
you could probably talk
I probably
an hour and
do,
a half
like,
on Clancy.
yeah.
But yeah, so I don't know if there's anything else that we want to get into. I like for me, like I said, I had a really great time, and I think that was and that was one of the huge motivators to do this musings, is so that we could share our feelings on the Clancy.
One more thing. Like, no matter where you are in like a venue, if you go and see them, like no matter where you are, you're gonna have a good time. Like,
Yeah, and
yeah.
and then
You don't have to be like
at
front
the
row
back.
pit,
It was good.
like, yeah.
And it kind of like, well, by the time we were buying tickets,
No, because I looked at the tickets like the minute they came out, and they were like,
yeah, and that was the thing. Like, where do you want to sit? And so we were in Toronto. The venue was the Scotiabank Arena.
Yeah, they were selling like almost everything was grayed out. We looked at it.
Yeah, like the only thing that was really still available
8 hours
was
after.
floor. but I didn't want to go on the floor. I had never done that.
I mean, if I had been by myself, I would have gone on the floor.
Yeah, sorry, but
you only get you pit experience.
Yeah, well, next time, all right. But
next time, pit experience. I need better photos. I need not blurry photos.
No, but not blurry. But I think, but those are the most expensive places to.
They are,
right. Those are the most expensive tickets, and they let, like, the people that are on the floor, they get a good show. Like, they actually play in amongst everybody.
They go through and they go
Yeah. So it's I can't remember how much the tickets were, but those are the only, to me, at least to my brain, those were the only, that was the only place where there was still place to enjoy them. Like, I think all the other tickets were sold. Like,
the pit was almost half empty and everything else.
Yeah, but everything else was full. So I didn't see a spare seat, even around us. I didn't see a spare seat. So, and I kind of, like, when we were looking at it, we kind of wanted to be looking forwards to see them instead of on an angle. So we kind of, the seats, the straightest on seats that we could get at that point. But a lot of the other seats were already taken out. I guess you said it was about 8 hours afterwards, right?
Yeah, I know it went on at about 11 like one day, and then the next morning we looked, and it early next morning at like 5 o'clock we looked, and it was already almost completely.
And I think we were lucky.
And then there was another. Sorry, I kept interrupting you, but there was.
I was going to say something about Ticketmaster. I was going to say.
Oh, okay. Well, no, I was also going to say something about Ticketmaster. So there was a separate part to the tour. This tour in general, because the tour is basically a journey through the evolution of this band, and there's a separate experience called the fan premiere experience that I tried to get tickets for. I was in the waiting queue for 2 hours, and then as soon as they let me in, it was all the tickets are gone. So that again,
I didn't know that we tried to do that,
but I did, because I was at home, it was during the summer, and
that's a typical Ticketmaster kind of thing to do.
But I don't even know if it was I don't remember if it was through Ticketmaster or not. But as soon as I got in, all the tickets were sold out, and I was just oh, okay, whatever.
Unless they linked it through their webpage, and maybe it was something.
They linked it through their webpage, and I clicked the link, and then it had me sit in the queue for a while, and then all the tickets were sold out by the time I got there. And I literally clicked the link. I clicked the link as soon as it went online. So. I was waiting.
Yeah, you were one of those. Yes. But it was really a good time, and I'm glad we did this together. It wasn't just the two of us, by the way. It was also their dad. So the three of us were there, and it was a good time. And
it was a good,
and for us, we actually stayed in the city. Which we don't usually do because we have family nearby, so we don't often need to stay in the city. So it was nice to stay in the city and just sort of walk around and kind of feel
after the concert, we kept running into people who were at the concert, for late night dinner and all that stuff.
We had a really late dinner, so when we got back to the hotel room, it was 2:30 in the morning. It was almost 2 o'clock in the morning.
I still was not tired, but
I had not done that in quite a few years. So
it was very enjoyable. Mm-hmm.
But so that was a concert. So we talked about fan art. We talked about the concert. I think I just want to mention one more thing before we end this musings. I have other things that I had already before the last one, but to get into that, it will take a while. So we'll save that for another musings episode because it doesn't matter. It's not time sensitive. I just wanted to bring up another thing that for fandom people that will probably enjoy this. I subscribed to a newsletter from Hank and John, the Brothers Green. If you're in the fandom, you probably know the Brothers Green. And if you haven't subscribed to their We're Here, I recommend it. It's a newsletter that comes out every week, every Friday. Not that they need promotion, but what I really like about it is because they're trying to draw attention to things on the internet that you might not always see. And as someone who's, Birds on Power Lines is a very small YouTube channel, so I don't really understand the limitations of the algorithm, right? And that's sort of why they're sort of going against that. They're trying to bring your attention to things that you might not see because of the algorithm. So I encourage you to, most people know Hank and John. So if you go to Hank and John, it's we're here at mail.bhiiv.com. I'll put a link for it. And they have different topics every week, and it's always, and Hank and John are both really good writers, and this one was from wow, I've had this sitting here for a while, August 30th, 2024. But he had this thing, and there's always something in there that I really take to heart. So he makes a statement, and I think this was Hank writing this one. Hank, yeah, it was Hank. He has this thing on the truth. So he says, in quote, "The truth is harder than everyone thinks. Intuition and gut feelings are powerful and simple, but the truth is complex and hard fought. It's very hard to be in touch with this if you aren't in a profession where you are always in the weeds of trying to get to the truest possible version of, quote, true. But regardless of how hard it is, that work is very important." And I really love that quote, especially because it is Hank and John and the stuff that they put out on their channel and on Complexly and everything that they're doing. But it also has something to do with his books. So if you're not familiar with Hank's books, you should look them up. I'll put links for them. Because I don't want to get into talking about that again today, but I really like that quote, and yeah. So if you're into Hank and John, you don't know about the newsletter, and it's called We're Here, and there's always some really great stuff. This is a printout from my computer, so yeah. So I just wanted to recommend that and a shout out because they are trying to promote things against the YouTube algorithm or the internet algorithm to help you get exposed to different types of things. And I really like that message, and I really like reading it. I look forward to it every Friday. I don't think you are getting those mailings. It's just me.
No,
right?
I get too much mail.
Oh, I get mail. Yeah, a lot of crappy mail that I'm not. I just delete, and then we're here, Hank and John.
Yeah.
Yeah. I look forward to that every Friday, and it's only like a page and a half of stuff, so it's not a lot, but yeah, they do that. So yeah, that's the other thing I wanted to mention. So I don't know if is there anything else short that you wanted?
No.
Okay, this one's studying for midterm, so we'll let them get back to it. And
I'm looking forward to June 2025.
Yeah,
June 2025.
That's it. Yeah, so I guess this.
No, not because of school. Because of that's when we will finally know what happens with Clancy.
Oh my God! Coming back full circle. Right back around it, because everything is 21 Pilots. Right?
Yes, everything is, and if it's not, it definitely is.
It is in some way, shape, or form. So and you'll have to explain more about that to me. So
I will. Don't worry.
When we get to June 2025. Believe me, I can wait.
June 2025, we'll have a crash course on every single thing. I will give you the exact same lecture that I gave my friend.
Okay. Okay, so I guess that's it for this Musings episode. And if you've listened all the way through, thank you for listening. And again, thank you so much for being part of Birds on Powerlines. And we look forward to having you join us on the next podcast. Thank you so much.